What up, Blockchain Nation? What up, YouTube? Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and also make sure that you hit the bell so that you can get weekly notifications whenever we release videos. For those who watch these videos consistently, I want to say a big thank you. All right, so today I'm going to talk about how to prepare for a blockchain developer interview. So if you want to know what to do to prepare for a blockchain developer interview, please stay tuned. I'm just going to give you my own perspective, what I have done, my own experience, what that has been like, how that has been like, and the materials that I've used to prepare for this, to prepare for blockchain developer interviews. Honestly, the good thing is that this is a very, very new space, so everybody's learning every single day. There's so many frameworks, blockchain platforms out there, from Ethereum to Hyperledger Fabric to Neo. But as of this recording, and especially in the part of the world that I live in, I noticed that for a lot of interviews, it's usually skills on Hyperledger Fabric or on Ethereum. So I started out trying to learn Hyperledger Fabric, and I think it's a great platform. But I really think, in my personal opinion, that Ethereum is, because it's public, it's permissionless, I really think the next big apps will be built on Ethereum. It's kind of like when you do business to business concepts, companies want to use Hyperledger because it is secure and it is permission. You can check it out in my previous video that I did on that, about the difference between Ethereum and on Hyperledger. And but for things that are going to be like social networks, I believe that it will be more open, like using platforms like Ethereum, in my personal opinion, to build those applications. So that's why I have decided to focus on Ethereum. That's just me. So if your focus is Hyperledger Fabric, I'm sure you can still get a couple of things from this video as well. So here are the four things I think you should do to prepare for a blockchain interview, and this is what I do as well. The first thing is you need to review your CV. I know that sounds very simple and straightforward, but sometimes because you modify your CV, you're trying to get the perfect CV for an interviewer, what to remove, what to update, especially when you're improving your skills on a day-to-day basis. So like for me, I remember I had different iterations of my CV. And so it's important that you look at the CV that you have sent to the recruiter, because maybe you forgot to add a project, or maybe you mentioned a tech stack that you're not so familiar with. This happened to me before. I put a mean stack instead of a MERN stack, which is React, as opposed to Angular. JavaScript framework wise, you can either use React or you can use Angular. And on my CV it said mean, which was Angular. And mean is an acronym from Mongo, Express, Angular, and Node. But my skill set is a Mongo, Express, React, and Node. So as silly as it may sound, please make sure you review your CV. So that's what you need to. That's the first thing. So look at it. Make sure you can answer every single thing that's in your CV. Please don't put something out there that you know you can't do. And if maybe you are new to JavaScript, sometimes it's good to write, or a particular framework, to write your proficiency at that framework, like intermediate or advanced, or in some case, you might not want to put beginner, but just do not overstate your skills, because they will test you, and when it comes to tech, they will find out. So the first thing you have to do is review your CV. The second thing is you have to look for resources that you can use. I want to recommend some resources that I have used to prepare for interviews. One is Gregory's resource, which is, I talked about him so much because he's a rock star. DApp University. So one concept that is great on Ethereum is IPFS. He has a huge tutorial where he talked about IPFS, how to use IPFS. So this is a very good resource that you can use to prepare for an interview. You can just look through the different things there, and I mean, there's so many videos I can talk about on this page, but this is a very good resource to prepare. So this is one I want to mention. Another resource that I want to mention is this, which is Full Stack Cafe. So Full Stack Cafe is great, and one thing I love about Full Stack Cafe is that there's so many interview questions here that you can use for different concepts, whether it's Ruby, React, Redux, MongoDB, HTML. This is a great resource, I promise you. For instance, and recently I've been using this resource for a while, is that they added a blockchain aspect to it, which I think is so cool. 42 blockchain questions, like what is a blockchain? Explain the common structure of blockchains. What is blockchain data structure? What is a Genesis block? I mean, they can ask you what is proof of work. They can ask you all these questions, but looking at this and preparing, this is a very good resource to prepare in my personal opinion. So for resources, Full Stack Cafe will definitely be one of them. I think that this is definitely a good one. And another resource I want to mention will be Eat the Blocks. Now, Eat the Blocks has 100 interview questions in Solidity. This is a golden resource. So there's a very popular problem that happened in the Maker is a Maker hack. Maker is a concept, or it's a platform that's built on, oh sorry, not Maker, the DAO hack. Maker is another concept. Maker DAO is different from the DAO hack. The DAO hack happened a very long time ago, where millions of dollars in Ethereum was stolen from a smart contract. It's called a reentrancy attack. And I love this 100 interview question in Solidity because he explains what the reentrancy attack is. And that's a very good one that you need to know, in my personal opinion. So resources, one will be Full Stack Cafe. I think this is a great resource. And the second resource will definitely be this 100 interview questions from Eat the Blocks. So check out Eat the Blocks and check out this 100 interview questions. Go over it. That's definitely a good one. All right. So the first I talked about you need to review your CV. Second, I talked about how resources that you can use. Third, there's some need to know things expected to know, like ERC. If you are going to build on Ethereum, what's an ERC token? Explain your little understanding of cryptography, basic cryptography. So for those two, I'm going to put a link below. ERC tokens, I did a video on that. You can watch that. And also on cryptography, check out this video that I did called "The Fastest Way to Become a Blockchain Developer." There's a resource there that shows you the basic things that you need to know about cryptography, and that's a very good one. And obviously, you need to practice, which is my last point. But before I get to that, you need to know, at least improve your skills on whatever programming language that you use. Whether you're a Python person, whether you're JavaScript, you want to do some mock coding interviews or coding practice tests. I've done a video on that as well, and I'll explain send the link to that. So the first thing is review your CV. Second, resources. Third is the things that you need to know: ERC tokens, cryptography, and obviously your skills on your programming language of your choice. And last, of course, you gotta practice. I love Eat the Blocks. Has this real cool tool, smart contracts and Solidity. He has about 30 contracts that you can build. I mean, this is a good way to just play around with your Solidity skills. Also, Crypto Zombies has this nice, interesting course, which I have not done, full disclaimer. But I heard so much about these raves about Crypto Zombies. I know. Don't judge me. Yes, I do so many things, and you tell us about this resource, and you haven't used the resource. But that doesn't change the fact that it's supposed to be a very good one. So let me know what you think. So Crypto Zombies, by doing these exercises, it also improves your skills in Solidity as well. So this is something that you might also want to consider doing as well. And yeah, DAO University is also a great resource to check out. So here we go. So in preparing for your interview as a blockchain developer, review your CV, check out the resources like Full Stack Cafe and 100 Solidity questions on Eat the Blocks. You need to know about ERC tokens, understanding about cryptography, focus on the programming language of choice, and lastly, practice, and have fun with it. If an interviewer asks you a question and you don't know the answer, smile. Smiling tells your brain that you're not under fire, because sometimes you're sweating, you're like, oh my God, I don't know the answer, and you just want to faint and pass out, and that's just embarrassing and horrible for everybody. It even makes the interviewer uncomfortable. So just smile. When you smile, you're telling your brain everything is going to be okay. And sometimes an answer comes. Even if an answer doesn't come up, you're like, that's an interesting, because look, everybody doesn't know everything. Nobody knows everything. No one knows everything. If you knew everything, then you probably won't be working at a job. You'll probably be master of the universe or something. So also always remember that. So just smile and just don't panic. Oh, that's something I need to research more. That's something I need to look at. Remember, it's not the end of the world. Listen, in this industry, especially if you're as a software engineer, there are so many opportunities available. Even if you don't start with a blockchain job, you can start as a front-end developer, as you're working your skills, and just interview anyway. Just interview and you see what all your shortcomings are. Keep on interviewing. Don't be afraid or worried about interviewing, because there's so many. You can interview for a role and not get it, and you can interview again. So don't be worried that if I interview, I'm going to mess up my chances in the future. No, you can also reach out to the recruiter and say, hey, last time I interviewed, blah, 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 I wasn't doing so well, but since then, here's what I've worked on. I've worked on some open source projects, I've done this, I've done that, and you already have a foot in the door because you already had a previous interview. So don't be so worried about blowing the opportunity that you don't apply for the job because you think you're not ready. Just apply. The more you apply, the more you learn, the faster you will learn, because when you know you have an interview to prepare for, trust me, you're going to be so fired up that you're going to push yourself to learn all this stuff. I promise you. That's what worked for me. Anyways, that's all I have. Yeah. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, my wish for you is that you learn how to code, because coding is changing and will change the world, especially this blockchain distributed ledger technology space. And it's my personal opinion that those who get involved early will greatly impact the future. And if that's you, then let's go change the world.